good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us from different time zones. Welcome to Vibha Impact in Education Conference 2026. We are truly delighted to have educators, students, patrons, mission partners, volunteers, corporate leaders, youth change makers, and friends of Vibha with us today. Let's start with a question. What does it take to ensure quality public education for every child? At Vibha, we believe that quality public education is a bridge between child circumstances and their potential. For 35 years, Vibha has worked with one simple belief that improving learning levels in public education, public schools require scaling proven solution. Tonight, we invite you to witness that journey that began 35 years ago with handful of passion-driven volunteers. It's a story of people who chose purpose over comfort, a story of teacher who refused to give up, a story of children whose potential was waiting to be seen, a story that has taken 35 years to shape and is still being written. It is about millions of moments of hope, learning, and possibilities. But above all, it's our story. Let's watch a short glimpse of it before we begin the celebration.
At Vibha, we believe that true systemic change begins when teachers are trusted, students are inspired, and communities are engaged. And for the last 35 years, we have been working relentlessly to make sure your support, be it through volunteering or otherwise, reaches the children whose potential can be unleashed with quality public education. Last year alone, we were able to reach 2.5 million children through our programs across India, covering scholastic development, workforce development, and community engagement, which brings our impact over 35 years to 8.8 million children. That's 8.8 million children you have supported. Now let's write the next chapter together.
Thank you, Deepak, and thank you, Monika, for this voiceover. Before we go to the segment, this is me, Deepali Bhagwate. I missed introducing myself only at the start. So this is Deepali Bhagwate, Operations Director at Vibha. Now I will hand it over to Swati to introduce the next segment.
Thank you, Deepali. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and thank you for joining us. My name is Swati Newley. I'm our Director of Development here at Vibha. And for our opening remarks, it's my pleasure now to introduce our CEO, who has been a volunteer with us for almost 20 years, Ashwini Kumar, who's bringing us into our new eras of leadership and scale. Over to you, Ashwini.
Thank you so much, Swati, and thank you, Dipali and Deepak and Monica for all of the efforts that has gone in. I want to kick off this meeting with a story about Sindhu Priya. She's 7. She's from a small rural village in India near Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. She is the first one in her family to attend school. 2 years ago, she couldn't even recognize alphabets, both English or in local language, right? Last year, she won the National Word Power Championship. What makes the story very special for me is that I met her and her teacher a few years ago, and when she was on her learning journey, I know it took a village for Sindhu Priya to win, and you're all a part of the village. Thank you so much for being a part of Vibha. Some statistics, 98% of children attend school, and that's an enormous achievement for a big nation like India, right? 98%. And out of the 98% of children who, out of that, 70% of the children in India attend government schools. That is close to 130 million children annually. If we focus on improving the quality of education in government schools in partnership with the government and community, we can make a significant contribution to creating a brighter future. The unemployment rate among graduates in Gen Z age group is also very high, close to 40%. And working on skills to bridge educational gaps will make them employment ready, and it will make a difference now. So there's no time to rest. We need to act now. And the now and future is in our hands, and it depends on us taking action. And this is one step towards that. Vibha's vision is a high quality public education for every child. This is the vision that cannot be accomplished alone. I'm extremely excited to have you all here today, tuned in to make this a reality. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to listen and hear the possibilities and opportunities that Vibha has in front of us. And thank you for being a part of the sprint towards making this vision possible. I'm Ashwini Kumar, CEO of Vibha. Vibha is a community of volunteers, donors, staff, and supporters who believe that education is the only tool that can break intergenerational poverty cycle. Vibha started and continues to exist because of generous donors and volunteers, the strong trust we have built in our consistent effort over 35 years, the shared vision of impact to education. Last year, in the last school year 25-26, we reached 2.5 million students. And we are that serious about our work. And we invite you to pay attention to our work and support us with your wisdom, treasure, and skills. I've volunteered for Vibha for the last 18 years, and I've seen how Vibha has evolved in this last 18 years of the last 35 years. We have evolved from supporting social entrepreneurs to working closely with 13 state governments and impacting 2.5 million children annually. Nothing can be accomplished alone, and systemic solutions are the only solutions that are sustainable. So, this type of mindset has created fantastic opportunities for Vibha, and it has attracted, this type of mindset has attracted donors to invest in us and volunteers to generously give their time to us. So I'm very excited to be a part of this community with young volunteers and change makers. We live in a society that thrives on mutual support, and here's our society. Here on the call today, will have a small glimpse of our community in action. The stories you will hear from the ground, from donors and our future young volunteers. You will hear and discuss today what we hear today and discuss today will shape our organization tomorrow. I am looking forward to a fantastic conversation led by Vijay Vemulapalli on stories of change from the ground, represented by an esteemed panel of educators, social impact organizations, and government representatives. I'm also excited to hear from our beloved donors who have invested in Vibha to build systemic solutions. Monika, Rangesh, Anu, and Dhruba, in a conversation led by a brilliant advisory board member, Geetha. You will also hear our two dynamic youth volunteers, Kyle from Atlanta and Vivek from Bay Area, who are helping us to envision our future. So grateful to Dipali, Deepak, Swati, Samir, Vasudha, and many others who have made this conference come alive. And thank you all for joining us today. Over to Swati or Dipali.
Thank you, Ashwini, and thank you for reiterating that none of this would be possible as we celebrate 35 years of impact would not be possible without the support in so many ways of supporters like you. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to Deepali so we can start the conference, the main program.
Thank you, Swati, and thank you, Ashwini, for grounding us in the heart of Vibha's mission. You reminded us that goal is not simply to run programs, but to change the outcomes. To change the outcomes, children at scale. But every child is a story awaiting to be written, and it takes an entire village and then some to support it. Now we couldn't invite a whole village, but we do have a full room full of some of these supporters to help tell us such stories that they have enabled alongside Vibha over the last 35 years. In this session, we will hear from student, teachers, government officials, as already Ashwini mentioned, representative from our partner organization, all bound together in a conversation by Mr. Vijay Vemulapalli, board member Vibha. Vijay needs little introduction within the Vibha family. He has been a volunteer with Vibha for over 3 decades and has played a pivotal role in shaping the organization's vision, culture, and journey of transformation. Vijay, thank you for joining us. Over to you. We all are waiting for this one of the important discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepali. Um, First of all, I'm extremely happy to be moderating this session. And that is because I have been volunteering and leading this organization for the past 32 years. But what gives me immense satisfaction is when I interact with the people on the ground, in the projects, the change makers, right? And we have today the change makers from the classrooms. We have the change makers from the government. We have the change makers from our knowledge partners, the NGOs on the ground that are identifying problems, finding solutions, and making a change. And finally, I think we have two students also that have gone through our programs, and we want to hear their perspective as well. So we have a entire cross section of people from our ecosystem of what we are working in. And we also have them from all corners of India. We have some of them from Punjab, from Maharashtra, from a teacher from Tamil Nadu, and from West Bengal and Assam. So we have the entire geographical distribution as well of what we are doing and what we have been doing for 35 years. Now, before I go further, I want to acknowledge what is happening right now on the streets of India and in some parts. I will just say this. I hope better sense prevails pretty soon. I hope the issues are resolved quickly. And more importantly, I hope that better systems are put in place to address these issues so that these things do not happen again. So I will leave it at that. And let's come back to our discussion today. Before we go further, I want to introduce formally all the change makers that we have today on the panel. To start with, we have Mr. Sukirat Pal Singh. He's a lecturer in a government polytechnic college in Talwara. And also from the same effort, Professor Sandeep Kansal. He's the chairman of Punjab State Board of Technical Education and Industrial Training. We have two more government officials from Pune, where our partner organization Rachana has been doing phenomenal work for more than 20 years with Vibha, actually. Mr. Chandrakant Vipat, he's the block development officer, and Mr. Ramdas Patil, he's the cluster head. A cluster is a group of 15 schools roughly. So he's the cluster head for those 15 schools, and Mr. Chandrakant Vipat is the block development officer from the state of Maharashtra. And also from Bombay, we have two students. We would all be really happy to learn their stories. And we also have Miss Kokila Acharya. She's the program officer in Corp India in Mumbai. And the two students are Miss Poonam Borade and Miss Sagira Sheikh. These three are from our Corp project in Mumbai. And we have a wonderful teacher from Tamil Nadu, Miss K. Lalita. She's an English teacher from a middle school in Petikuppam school in Tamil Nadu. And we also have the Deputy Director of Vikramashila, Mr. Atanu Sain, and Vikramashila Education Resource Society is doing fantastic work for several years, started in West Bengal and now working in several states, intervening in public education, mostly in primary education. So we will hear from all of them today. We have a lot to cover, so let me start off with our project in Punjab. And let me start with Mr. Sukirat Pal Singh ji. He's the lecturer from a polytechnic college in Punjab. Sir, I want to ask you, you have been teaching in this polytechnic college. What change was needed? You have been teaching, and then what is it that was that was needed more for achieving what the students came to the college for?
So first of all, thank you so much, Vijay sir, and whole Vibha team and all the prominent members in the conference. This is Sukirat. So the question you have asked has various answers, sir. I can see that. So coming to the polytechnics, which is the Vibha team is looking after, is for government institutions, and the students were coming for the skills and the employability skills, and they just want to join a company and earn a livelihood and become a financial partner in their family, we can say, and they can help their parents. And so these are the things the students were coming, and the challenges, I would say, that students were coming, they were getting the right kind of education they were looking for. They were having an wonderful kind of infrastructure, we can say. But the main gap I have seen is, so I'll start from a beginning with a little bit of story. So should I begin, Mr. Vijay sir?
Yes. Make it brief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, sir. So just imagine you being a part of a rural family from a remote background, and your father is working, my father, anybody father is working as a laborer, and he's earning around 12 to 15,000 in this era, and he has to take care of his family, and you have 2 or 3 brothers and sisters in your family. And what kind of opportunity will you have? Like the scenario where you can create a financial structure, financial help for your family, become a financial help for your family. And with that expectation, students come to the polytechnics, as they don't have that kind of funding to go to the degree colleges and the prominent institutions. So what we worked on and seen, that a student whose father was a laborer, and he came to us, and I literally went to his house. It was literally made of mud. The you can say old house. So it broke my heart that the student is coming this far and I have to do something for him. So it pushed me, and I literally went out of the box and out of the way to get him the right opportunity for his employability, and just helped him to get the right opportunity. Yeah, that was the day that when he was able to get the job, and he was literally helping his family into that.
So basically, you have been doing a fantastic job of training them, but the opportunity gap needed to be filled. So that was the challenge for most students, and you have given one example, one very representative example. I can understand the students coming to these polytechnic colleges are from similar backgrounds, and at the end of the day, they needed to get a job, and there was a gap there, and that was not happening. And we will come to the solutions. Actually, we will be doing this whole session in 3 parts. In the first round, we will talk about what were the challenges. In the second round, we will be talking about how did we bring about change, what solutions did we identify, how did we bring them about. And for that, I will come to Professor Sandeep Kansal in a minute. But now let me go back to another classroom setting. Mrs. Lalita, she is the English teacher from Tamil Nadu. She has been working in a setting where our intervention called Sikshana, from an NGO called Sikshana in Karnataka. I have been personally associated with this organization for almost 20 years. Vibha had funded this program in Karnataka scaled it up to the entire state, and now we are replicating this in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, and in Tamil Nadu. So I want to hear from Mrs. Lalita. What was the biggest learning challenge in your classroom before the intervention started?
Sir, I am working in a village school, sir.
Yes.
Village children come to the school. This book is help the students to read simple words and write simple words. It's
Right.
very, very helpful for them, sir.
Yes.
And the FNL series workbook you given, sir, in English, Tamil, Maths. That's very, very useful for us. From 4th standard to 8th standard, you have given, sir. That is very, very useful for the students to make them read simple words and write simple words, sir.
Right. Yes. So in fact, I have visited, several Sikshana schools, and it is so heartwarming. And the settings are, you have to really visit these schools to believe. These are, one room schools or 2-room schools, and the children that come to these primary schools are quite often, depending on where you are, from the lowest sections of the society. And for them to teach them, basic math, basic English, basic local language, whether it is Tamil or Telugu or Hindi, it needed change. The old way of teaching and learning wasn't working. Right, Mrs. Lalita? What was it before you got all these, additional workbooks and so on and so forth from Sikshana?
So this book is helping for the students to read and write. We will practice these books during the lunch period. Also, we will practicing these books, sir.
Yes.
The FLN series workbooks, sir.
Sorry for interrupt. Sorry, actually, I'm Satish from Tamil Nadu. Ma'am, என்ன challenges actually நீங்க face பண்ணீங்க before அம்மா கேக்குறாங்க மேம். இப்போ கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல ஸோ challenges என்னென்ன challenges before இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி என்னென்ன challenges நீங்க கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல ஃபேஸ் பண்ணீங்க?
That's they suffer how to read and write. அவங்க வந்து கஷ்டப்படுவாங்கன்னு சொல்றேன், படிக்கிறதுக்கு கஷ்டப்படுவாங்க. அது வந்து இப்ப இந்த புக் வந்த பிறகு நல்லா படிப்பாங்கன்னு சொல்றேன் சார்.
So actually, that school, one of the village schools, it's it's a border of Tamil Nadu, or so nearby Andhra. So it's one of the so the education wise is very, very backward districts at Trivandrum also. So ma'am, before I also went to, I am as ops manager from Sikshana. So mostly Sri Lankans refugees children also they're studying that school actually, especially this school. So beginning I also saw I'm entering that school facing a lot of challenges. Example, children were very so they are very active, actually proactive children, so they can't sit in the classroom properly. Teachers are so because the strength is also high, almost nearly beginning 300 students are their studies actually. Now it's 240 something is there. So this classroom 50 to 55 children are there, single teachers, so she can't handle properly, and the students so they are also facing a lot of issues and like a problem like taking class actually.
Thank you. So that was the situation. We understand. So these are the kinds of environment that we are entering into now.
Yes.
So let me take this to another our NGO partner, Vikramashila. So I want to turn our attention to Mr. Attanu Sain. He's the deputy director in Vikramashila. Sir, I want to ask you. What is one thing that needed improvement in early education? And you can take a micro example or a macro example. I want to hear from you on what were the challenges.
Yeah. So thank you so much for inviting me in this particular forum. This is first time I am joining your conference, and thank you for that.
Thank you for yeah.
Yeah. Actually, mm, many people they will say the challenges it is limited school readiness when we are talking about the or foundational learning. Uh, Maybe many people will say multi-grade, multi-lingual classroom situation, absenteeism, both teacher and students, uh, teacher professional development, but I will not talk all these things because all the people, those who are here, all we number of times we discuss all these things. I will actually focus on two things. As per our National Education Policy 2020, they talk about foundational learning as a continuum.
Right.
3 years pre-primary education and 2 years primary education, it's a continuum. But in most of the cases, in most of the states where we are working, it is not seen as a continuum. This is the huge challenge. I mean, pre-primary setup is very different. Responsibility, it is under the 2, 3 departments, not solely with education department, and primary grades, 2 grades, it is under the education department. So there is a lack of convergence and it is never seen as a continuum. So that is challenge number one. Second, most of the time when we interact with the bureaucrats, government people, and even many NGOs, they think that teacher is a part of the problem, but we believe that teacher is a part of the solution. So that is the core belief we have. So in that context, you need to build the capacity of teacher. That is one thing, but it is not through the, workshop, seminar. It should be a continuous engagement and mentoring support particularly it is very important.
Okay.
When we conduct workshop, it is very idealistic and we imagine certain situation and we try to provide solution for any in-service training program. You will see that, but classroom situation is very different. Teacher need help in the on-site.
So
In that context, mentoring is very important.
got it.
But most of the cases, it is very weak, and maybe academic monitoring is there, but mentoring support really is lack.
So there you go. So
So
yeah, thank you, sir. I think you have you have touched upon something extremely critical, and we have noticed this in across the board in all our efforts. The most critical part of change is the teacher. Once we enable the teacher, then the change happens in the classroom, and we will talk more about that. And now I want to take our attention to Corp India, a completely different type of project effort that we have been involved with. I want to talk to Mrs. Kokila Acharya. She's a program officer in Corp Girl Shelter program in Mumbai. At a micro level, what are the issues what is the reality of the children that are entering into your project? And just first, I want to talk about what is the state in which they come to your project, and then in the next round we will talk about the solutions and the change that happened.
Actually, I am from the Street Children Project.
Okay.
So the main challenge we face is unsafe living environment. So तो बच्चों को पहले तो वो जगह जो जहाँ पे रहते हैं वो हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है. एंड सेकेंड थिंग है कि पेरेंटल सपोर्ट नहीं होता है ज्यादा उन बच्चों के लिए. और थर्ड है कि अब्यूजमेंट. ये सारे मेजर थिंग्स हैं और ये चैलेंज अभी तक बहुत हद तक कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि वो हम उसको ये करें। फेस भी अभी तक हो रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी बहुत हद तक हम फेस करते हैं वो चैलेंज अभी तक।
जी, जी. Sure. Yeah. So this is a, just for perspective, this is from a completely different environment where we are trying to address the issues in the community, in the homes of the children, where they are coming from, to bring awareness to them. It starts from there, and then providing them a safe space where they can feel secure, and then the effort to start learning happens. And we will learn more of that from the two students actually that are here in few minutes. Finally, I want to just touch upon our two government officials from Pune that are here. I want to start with Mr. Ramdas Patil. He's the cluster resource head. And sir, you can talk in आप हिंदी में बात कर सकते हैं या मराठी में बात कर सकते हैं, कोई बात नहीं. तो आपने इस प्रोग्राम के पहले क्या हालत था स्कूलों में, और आपको क्या लगा, क्या बदलना था इधर? प्लीज.
धन्यवाद सर. मी रामदास पाटील.
जी.
पुण्यापासून एक 60 किलोमीटर अंतरावरती भोर तालुका पश्चिम भागामध्ये जो आहे, अतिशय दुर्गम आणि डोंगरी, ज्या ठिकाणी पालकांसाठी रोजगाराचा प्रश्न खूप महत्वाचा आहे. त्यामुळे पालक बहुतांश हे मुंबई, पुणे किंवा इतर मोठ्या सिटीमध्ये स्थलांतरित होतात. त्यांची मुलं जी आहेत ती त्यांची आजी, आजोबा किंवा इतर नातेवाईक यांच्याकडे गावाकडे ठेवलेली असतात. आणि अशा ह्या भोर तालुक्यामध्ये काम करत असताना त्या ठिकाणची परिस्थिती आणि त्या मुलांना मिळणारा सपोर्ट हा खूप, शैक्षणिक वातावरण ही काही वर्षापूर्वी अजिबात नव्हती. शाळेकडे पाहण्याचा दृष्टिकोन म्हणजे एक मुलगा दिवसभर आपल्या घरातल्या म्हणजे मुलाची जी कटकट आहे ती केवळ दूर व्हावी एवढ्यासाठी त्याला शाळेत ठेवलं जायचं. अशी परिस्थिती या भोर तालुक्यातल्या बहुतांश शाळांची होती. जेणेकरून असा एक निष्कर्ष काढता येतो की बाबा मुलाचा त्रास घरात नको म्हणून ते शाळेत बसू दे, म्हणजे आपण आपली घरची कामं करूया. कारण कामं पण इतकी प्राधान्याने त्यांना करावी लागतात की सकाळी 8ला जर गेले शेतात तर ते संध्याकाळी 6-7 शिवाय येत नाही. अशा या परिस्थितीत मुलांच्याकडे पालकांचं म्हणजे म्हणावं तितकं लक्ष नव्हतं. आणि अशा परिस्थितीमध्ये मुलांचं शिक्षण केवळ शिक्षक आणि शिक्षक हा एकटाच करत होता. त्यातून पण शिक्षकाला पण काही मर्यादा पडत होत्या, आणि त्यातूनच मग अशा काही एनजीओ आपल्याकडे आल्या आणि त्यातून मुलांच्या शैक्षणिक विकासाला एक चांगली गती मिळाली. थोडक्यात आता रचना संस्था जेव्हा आली भोर तालुक्यामध्ये त्यावेळेस मी क्लस्टर हेड म्हणून ज्या 22 शाळांमध्ये काम करत होतो त्या ठिकाणची परिस्थिती पाहिली तर मुलांना अभ्यासाचं काही सोयीसुतक नव्हतं. ती फक्त शाळेत येणं, बसणं, घरी गेलं की मग पालक येईपर्यंत पुन्हा खेळत बसणं, आणि पालक आल्यानंतर पालकांचं लक्ष पुन्हा त्या मुलांना अभ्यासाकडे प्रवृत्त करणं हे नव्हतं. त्यांना त्यांची रुटीन कामं ही महत्वाची होती, कारण जगण्या मरण्याचा प्रश्न जो होता तो महत्वाचा होता. तर अशा परिस्थितीत रचना संस्थेनं जे काय काम सुरू केलं त्या कामामध्ये त्या मुलांच्याकडं शिक्षकांचा पाहण्याचा दृष्टिकोन बदलला, आणि मेन म्हणजे पालकांचा दृष्टिकोन बदलला. आज पोरग जेव्हा घरात जातं आणि म्हणतं की बाबा आम्हाला, हा सर बोला.
Sorry,
I will translate this, Vijay. Ramdas sir, थोड़ा मैं translate करते एक minute. So I'm just summarizing what he said. So Bhor is a place in Pune which is nearly 50-60 kilometers away. It is nested in South Sahyadri foothills. So anytime you visit, you will see that the place is not easily reachable. Still, there are places where you have to struggle. The vehicles, the roads can't, roads are not proper. The second fact that he said that the challenge was not only that this place is remote. The second problem and the main problem was awareness. It's not there. Parents are normally migrating to Pune and Mumbai for the work, so they leave their children with the grandparents, and this education, they should go in the school so that they are able to work. So there was no actual thought ki why education is necessary for the girls and for the children who are living there. So Rachana and Vibha, basically Rachana started working on community engagement, and then Vibha joined them together to while saying that challenge, that education is the means to change everything, but it is not considered enough in that place. So that is what one of the biggest challenge that Ramdas sir said. I've just summarized, okay? He said a lot of other things, but I've just summarized it. Yeah.
In the interest of time, and please, Deepali, keep me honest with the time check.
Yes.
And now we'll get into round 2, where we will talk about solutions. We have now understood a variety of problems in variety of environments, both at the primary level, at the teenage level, for polytechnic students, and in real rural and in Mumbai slums. These are all the kinds of problems that we have been addressing. Now let's look at solutions. And I will start going back to Punjab, to Professor Kansal. So Vibha started a project management unit to fill this gap. I want to hear from you, how did this partnership evolve, and how did the gap that was identified addressed?
Yeah. See, obviously, like all of us understand that there is a gap which needs to be plugged. So Vibha team, like as far as I have seen, many of the guys from the team, they're working at the ground level. They visit the schools, colleges. They interact with the students, teachers, and to some extent, they interact with the parents also. So the first-hand information they get, whatever has been spoken about the limitations. Of course, the mostly underprivileged people, they face this kind of problem. But from the other side, from the education angle also, we can see that whatever we provide, whatever the students need, there is also gap. Mr. Atanus and very rightly emphasized the basic points that if we want to improve the education, the first thing we need to have is an effective teacher. If we have effective mentor, who is aware of the all kind of limitations of the system, of the students, of the families, and very precisely what is education and what is to be imparted, then I guess 50% of the problem is over. Because when a person is standing in a classroom interacting with the students, who understands each and every aspect of the problem, so therefore he can communicate in a very, very effective way. So in that way, I can just suggest that the training program for teachers at any level should be a continuous progress, so that every teacher, maybe primary level, maybe secondary, maybe any polytechnic or degree or university level, if they are not updated, they don't understand the basic situations, right from the student to the gap of the industry, of the society, the problems to be addressed. So till then, whatever will be provided to the student, that won't be up to the mark. So Vibha team is very rightly identifying these kind of gaps. They're working with us. They're giving the feedback, what basically the student needs. Like my teacher, Sukirat, defined something that's what the problem of underprivilege is there. So we come across these kind of problems from the other barriers also. Like language is one of the barriers. Student, they speak their mother tongue.
Right.
Their home environment is of the mother tongue. Their society is of that. Like if I am from Punjab, they speak Punjabi. But when we come to the school and then after that they go to the higher classes, they are unable to cope up with the scientific language
To get to the job.
Yeah, so for this time with the Vibha team, my technical board, they introduced one English app-based education that like facilitated the English learning. And similarly, there were the few core issues like the student are not made aware right from the beginning of the holistic development. Sometimes the track is changed, that we just move on to that we need to just learn this that subject or that subject, rather than focusing on the overall personality aspect. Like we need to introduce them to like what a human being is first, what the society needs, what are the problems of the society, and if that kind of exposure is given, then definitely we can develop a better student who will definitely, because one thing we all understand that there is a huge potential, irrespective of a student coming from what kind of a background. If you interact with a certain the number of students from privileged unprivileged background, the potential percentage is much more in the underprivileged. I have seen that personally,
We needed
but
to,
then
yeah,
they need a push. Basically, they need a push.
the push. Then they needed the training. They needed the job, getting job, the skills to get a job. They needed
Yeah,
internship opportunities, right? So,
opportunities, and then identifying that if we can train the teachers and the curriculum development maybe from the lower classes to the higher classes
of
to
course,
bridge the gap of the industry and the society, the
yeah.
problems we are facing daily, like we are facing problem of the environmental issues,
Hmm.
but we don't teach the environment to that extent.
Yeah, yeah.
Even I have seen the teachers, they are not teaching history properly, and history is such a wonderful subject.
Hmm. Hmm.
If it is taught in a way, it will give you more learning
Hmm.
rather than any kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So that kind of like pattern of learning and teaching, that needs to be improved. But I am happy to see, I mean, most of the people are working in this direction, and I am hopeful the change will definitely come.
I'm aware that we are working in 91 polytechnic schools, and
Right.
bringing in change at the not only in the classroom and in preparing them towards getting a job, and also looking up for them, working with the industry and getting them internship
Yes, yes.
opportunities and so on
Yeah,
and so forth. Yeah. So
yeah.
we'll talk a little bit more about it. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Vijay,
I will,
okay, so
please.
sorry, I'm
so
pronouncing your name problem. He wants to add something
Yes,
to his
please.
answer.
Kiranji, yes,
yeah, so I will be adding some things to my to our
please.
worthy chairman, sir, as he has covered a lot of things, a lot of issues, and a lot of things that have been done for the particular things. And coming to the Vibha team, as I have been interacting with them for the past 1 year, and they have been covering a lot of aspects from our government side and from the both side. And if the chairman sir has covered a lot of things from the both side and from the institution place, I will say that they uh, from the like for the past year, for the past 7 or 8 years, uh, what they have did was, when they came into our institution and the sector, they analyzed what were the main differences and main issues they have been saying. And for that, they have incorporated a 16-week of internship that has not been happening in any of the different institutions and that in any of the different boards. And coming into that, they have incorporated a tracking portal for the internships. And even for the placements, we working as a team, we incorporated a team of like 4 or 5 individuals that were proactive for the placement of students. And they have been a huge help for getting the contacts for the industries, even not in the north, not in the Punjab region, but in the whole northern region, coming and going to the Gujarat side. And this was something they were covering across while being a part of our Department of Technical Education. As our worthy chairman sir has been adding some of the prominent issues covering our academia, and I covering the ground reality of the things. And we I think I was happy to be being in contact with these kind of people that are working into the education. And uh, So these were the things I like to tell.
In summary, we started a 16-week intervention program.
Yeah.
Then we also start, and that brought in changes both for teachers as well as the students. And
Yeah.
we also, in parallel, we started working with the industry and getting them internships, so that once you get an internship, then getting a job is, half job done, right? So
I just want to add,
yes,
not only this, going a step ahead from this
yes.
place,
Mhm.
from this session onwards, we are totally revising our curriculum on the lines of what the industry needs, the skill which the industry needs.
Exactly.
Like for example, we are adding like AI, the basic AI system for all the batches, irrespective of their branch. And
Fantastic.
even the Punjab government has recently introduced AI at the school level, right from the basic classes.
Yeah.
So that means we are trying to keep pace with the technical advancements also, so as to give proper exposure, whatever is required.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, again, in the same sequence, I will go to Mrs. Lalita. And again, now we are talking at micro level. So, at her level as a teacher. So, how did the Sikshana program help? I know you have already touched upon some of the workbooks that were provided, and
Yes,
how
sir.
did that bring a change in the teachers, in the excitement of teachers to do more?
Sir, the students will find difficult to do the basic arithmetic skills, addition, subtraction, and all multiplication. These books helps the students to practice the addition, subtraction, multiplication very easily, sir. This book is very very useful to us.
Mhm.
From the 2 digit numbers to 5 digit numbers, they have given the exercise in the FLN book, and it
Mhm.
will be very useful for the students, sir.
Mhm.
And it very very useful for the students. They easily learn how to do the add, sub, multiplication and all. And also in English also, they read small words, then small sentences like that. It's very useful for them. And also grammar exercise also included in that workbook, sir. That's very very useful. That is B form, how to use the B form verbs, verb agreement also. That's also given, sir, in the book. That's very very useful to us for the students to teach, sir.
Yep. Yeah. So, in addition to the regular curriculum, these workbooks are provided, and that helped the teachers also to to engage the students in a very uh, very structured way, and in the process you are also able to measure how they are improving. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I have seen these books. I have seen these books in Kannada. I have seen these books in Andhra Pradesh, in Telugu, and in Gujarati as well. So I know the workbooks that you're talking about and how they are bringing in a structured change in learning at the second grade and third grade level. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now, back to Assam, Mr. Sain, give us one example of a component that actually made a difference. And I know you work at scale, so just give us a specific example of one example. This is the change we made, and uh, and we will talk about the change, the actual results of the change.
Definitely, I'll talk about that. But I would love to share the partnership with Vibha
Mhm.
and how it started. Sorry. Yeah, we had long-standing engagement with Assam government,
Mhm.
and then we started dialogue with Vibha, how to address some of the problems in the foundational stage.
Mhm.
So first, what we through our dialogue, we realized that value alignment, uh, both the organization value, which actually aligned with our values. And that was the cracks of our partnership. And we always feel that Vibha, it is not a donor agency, it's a partner. Every time we actually make our plan together, we actually visited school together. So it's a real partnership. I must appreciate that. One thing, you are most welcome. One thing I would highlight that definitely the resources which it is workbook, it is teacher's guidebook developed by the state. It is the assumption is classrooms are monograde, but in reality, it is multi-grade. It is not only for lack of teacher strength or anything. There are several reasons, but reality is classrooms are multi-grade, and you need to adopt differentiated instruction in the classroom. So in that context, what we did, we actually tried to convince state, particularly SCRT, to develop uh, some actually teacher's guidebook towards addressing the multi-grade situation.
I see.
That is one thing, and how to adopt the differentiated instruction within a single classroom. That was our focus. And it again, if you have enough resources, then you can do this. So resource development, age-wise, grade-wise resource, and relevant resource, that was the actually one thing which I would say it's worked very effectively.
Excellent.
So that is one thing. Yeah.
Thank you. So, that is so you are very crisp in identifying a problem, multi-grade teaching, and so assisting the teachers of how to handle that is what you have solved, and you saw a big change because of that. That's fantastic. These are
May take just 30 seconds
yes,
to say
go
something.
ahead.
When we discuss Vibha and Vikramshila, we are very clear that we will work with system,
Yeah.
within system, but not for the system. So because we are not service provider, so that was the very clear understanding between Vibha and Vikramshila.
Thank you, sir.
So
Yes,
thank you.
go ahead. Yeah. Is it a time check?
Yes, Vijay, time check too. And we have one of the former deputy mission director, Kenya, is with us. And there are few people like Chandrakant Vipat is also waiting in line.
Yeah. In fact, my next question is to Mr. Chandrakant Vipatji. So he's a block development officer. At block level, what was your involvement in Rachana's program? How did that partnership evolve? And please, Hindi mein or Marathi mein or English, whichever. Yes. Chandrakant ji.
Sir, तुम्ही ना unmute करा, unmute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Please. Yeah.
Yes. Sir, please repeat the question.
So sure. Yes. Block development officer hai. At the block level, how did the partnership with Vibha?
How did the
partnership रचना के साथ ये जो चेंज लाया गया एट स्कूल लेवल में कैसा हुआ?
Actually, it is अच्छा ही है, बहुत अच्छा ही है. Vibha is doing very well. Actually, Rachana is with the help of Vibha is doing very well.
Yes.
So प्रेरणा कार्यक्रम in Marathi, which is exercise books देते हैं. So that helps students to मतलब उनका स्टडी लेवल बढ़ाने के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. एक्सरसाइज बुक्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
जी.
और वी आर वर्किंग, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड न्यूली स्टार्टेड विद इन मराठी अभ्यास को कोपरा मीन्स स्टडी कॉर्नर. So that is again very helpful for children
Yes.
for improving themselves.
Yes.
So yes, it's going very well. Vibha and Rachna both are doing good work. We are supporting them. Our teachers are supporting them. Our cluster head Ramdas Patil is are they are supporting them. And star program is there.
Yes.
हाँ, तो हम लोग वो ये स्टार देते हैं जो अच्छा करते हैं, मतलब 100% अटेंडेंस है क्लास में, जो पहला आया लड़का उसको ये ऐसे लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर. तो उनके लिए स्टार्स जो देते हैं तो बच्चों में एक वो होड़ रहती है कि मुझे नेक्स्ट टाइम मुझे मिलना चाहिए स्टार. तो एज अ ब्लॉक डेवलपमेंट ऑफिसर आई एम sanctioning budget for this star program.
Very good. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is how the government, assists the partner in change, and that is why it is very good to hear from you. And we have seen the same thing in Gujarat as well. And I recently visited a project in Pune, and it was a memorable day that I spent in Pune. The study corner that he talked about. This is the study corner in each home for the student. So the parents have been advised that you have to provide a corner, a small table or big table, whatever it is, but there has to be a corner for them. And that is their space. So creation of that space. In fact, I had gone to the homes of 2 children who proudly displayed their study corner, and every night for 2 hours it should be zero sound in the home. So these are all the components that are making a change at the student level in helping them to do their homework, in helping them to learn, and so on and so forth. So fantastic. Thank you, Chandrakanji, for sharing that. Now, I know in the interest of time, I want to quickly go back to Corp, and this time I want to hear from Miss Poonam Borade and Miss Sagira Sheikh. Are both of them here? Hi, Sagira, I see you. Is Poonam also here? I want to hear from both of you. What was the journey for you at Corp? I know you are currently working as Poonam is working as a clinical instructor in a college, and Sagira is working as an interventionist in a community care special needs school. But you all came through a very tough background, without any doubt, and we want to hear your stories. Whoever wants to start.
So Poonam, you can go first.
Yes,
Go.
yes. So good evening, everyone. Everyone is able to hear me?
Yes.
So I am work as a clinical instructor, which is in the healthcare services. Means I am in the nursing college lecturer. So in that place, we are standing here because of the just corp, and for them who is helping is like Vibha. So thank you so much for helping to the corp, and the corp is taking us to this place. So thank you so much for first of all. So my story is just like I am coming from the rural area, like a slum area. So the family background is also illiterate. So no one is literate from family background. So just because of the proper path, because of the continuous guidance, because of the teaching activities, educational activities, and all curriculum and cultural activities, and the study means the education is not only because of the we are learning words, we are writing, and we are speaking, but only but also the exactly we are doing for the humanity. So these kind of thoughts the corp is giving me. So that's why I am studied in that nursing field. and now I teach to lots of students about the serves the humanity, give them the proper guidance. One of the point I want to note you that one thing is lacking behind in the educational system, which is the proper channel, proper path, and the proper way to get all these things regarding the education. So yes, I am here just because of the such guiding things of to me, and I learn lots of from Hasina Didi. Thank you so much, Nirmal sir. I want to mention their names because yes, they guided us and they always support us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Sagira, can you unmute, please?
Hello, good evening. Am I audible right now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. First, I would like to express my gratitude towards the Vibha to giving me this opportunity to express whatever I had experienced through this Vibha and the Corp journey. So, I would like to start from my position, like as I am working in Communicate Special Needs School, which is a private school in Thane area, and I am working as an interventionist trainee in that school, like managing neurodynamic kids, like neurodivergent kids. Okay, so. As I can give my background, like when I was very small, like I can say that I was 4 years old girl. I came with my sister here, and on that time we don't having anything. Like as Kokila ma'am said, like we are managing the street kids, and I am from the shelter home program of Thane Corp organization. So I also came from the street background only, and they given me the so much support, and they shown me so much support and love. Not only educational focus they given me, but also given me the whole holistic approach they given me, like for the education, for my personality, for my thought process, and how I have to build myself towards the society, how I am looking myself towards ideal self and real self. They engaging me, and they given me opportunity to open myself where I'll have to go. Okay, so as I did my bachelor's in BA psychology, after that they given me opportunity to do masters also through Viva organization help. I did my masters also in um, masters in social work field, and right now I am working through the college campus job placement cell. And right now also I am learning with that job also, like I am doing counseling course also with that. So I just wanted to rebuild myself and upgrade myself to learn new more things, to give this again back to the society, as I gain these things from the corp organization. And as Poonam said, like as we already mentioned, like there is a lack of things that we are focusing on. The children are not getting this much things to putting themselves in a proper box, as we can say, to show themselves as in society. But we can also focus, like corp given us this all things, like as I heard from sir also, like they are saying the giving proper guidance to the teachers also. Like as I am also working as a teacher in a school where I'll have to perform and use different techniques to teach children to neurodynamic kids, like how I can teach them a functional concept which is different as from the normal kids to neurodivergent kids. So I am glad that the points that we mentioned here, that which are lacking, but I did not facing in my real life situation, because corp given me that opportunity, like providing me personality development classes, giving me soft skills techniques, trained me like the computer skills and AI skills, and making me in grow in other different verticals also. So I am very thankful and gratitude towards the Vibha and Corp organization.
Thank
The
you
big
for
thanks
sharing.
to Hasina ma'am.
Thank,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your story with us. This is so inspiring to hear from both of you, and what you have achieved. And so Deepali, did I miss any of the invited guests? I think we have touched upon everybody. Please let me know.
No, invited guests, yes, we touched upon everybody, but we have a surprise guest right now.
Good. Yeah,
Uh, Sorry and pardon me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Mr. Kenny, am I pronouncing it right? Yeah. Can you unmute and add to the solution part and what's happening at Nagaland?
please. Oh,
Vibha?
fantastic.
All right, right. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, I was working with Samagra Shiksha, Nagaland, as Deputy Mission Director. Recently, I got transferred to take up new responsibility. So, so that's my short introduction. But I would like to share, take this opportunity to share, our, Nagaland experience with all of you today. Um, Back in 2021, when along with the rest of the nation, even our state, Nagaland state, a small state, we started our preparation, to strengthen the foundational education, in our state. Because if we look at the National Achievement Survey report of 2017, 2021, Nagaland was struggling with learning outcome. So we took our job very seriously, and we started with the curriculum, development led by our SCRT. Then by 2022, we have completed the curriculum, development. We have also prepared, modalities, for intensive, teachers training and things like that, and assessment. Every format, have been developed. But there was a big gap at the state level. So for us to come up with a measurable kind of assessment, platform, we needed a digital, platform, and we didn't have the capacity to do it within our team, in our SCAT, in Samagra Shiksha, or in the Directorate of School Education. So when we were wondering, and when we were struggling, how to come up with this assessment issue, challenge, for students to be able to assess, the individual assessment of all the, students, in our state, especially in foundational stage. So when we were having this challenge, a team of officials, from the Vibha India, visited our office, and we set over our issues, and then we flag our requirement, for tech support and data analyst support, and to which Viva willingly gave us a positive word, to support us. So that was where I think Nagaland story, in terms of child is learning, students learning progress. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. And how did it change? So this intervention,
Right, right, right. Exactly.
how did it change? How did it help?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. So Viva immediately sent two consultants to our state to support us full time,
Correct.
and with that, with the support of the Viva team, we developed digital, platform which we really needed, and we didn't have it, and we otherwise without Viva we couldn't make it. So we did it. So 2023 we did piloting for a few schools. 2024 in all the government schools in the state, we went ahead, to do the assessment, for students on quarterly basis, tracking, each individual child's, learning progress. Then in 2024, 25, 25, 26, 2 years, we have seen a lot of progress. We still have long way to go. But I think Nagaland from that point, I think we have also started a journey of no return in terms of tracking, the learning progress of our students. So recently, I'll just cite one example. My friend, from Viba, who is placed here in Kohima, Mr. Atanu, myself, we traveled to one of the remotest district, in Nagaland, for about 4 or 5 days. So along with my friend, Atanu from Viba, and during the training program, we demonstrated to our teachers how we are tracking the individual child's learning progress. For example, through my friend, we have showed the students, by name, the learning progress, class. Teachers were quite impressed, and they were amazed. Actually, they understood. Many of them understood. In fact, all of them understood how serious that this assessment, is that we are taking at the state level. So In short, I have so many things to share when it comes to our experience with Vibha, but
Vijay, you're on mute. Vijay, you're on mute. Sorry, Mr. Kenny, but it's lovely. So, we are running out of time. We have other two panels to cover.
Yes.
So, Vijay, do you want me to take over or you want to conclude this
I
panel?
just concluded once again. So thank you all the panelists for the Stories of Change panel. Sukhit Pal Singh ji, Professor Kansal, Chandrakant ji, Ramdas ji, Poonam, Sagira, so good to hear your stories. Kokila ji, Miss Lalita, and Mr. Ratan Hussain. Thank you so much for joining us today. And you have given us a perspective of the micro stories, at Corp and in other places, and the macro level stories, how Vibha is building capacity in the case of Punjab PMU, Nagaland story that you have just heard, how capacity is being built to make change at scale while handling. And you also have heard of stories of how the capacity, the change at capacity level, scale, change at scale is bringing micro level changes. You have seen examples of how people's lives are changing at student level. So this is the, like Dipali said, this is our story, and this is an evolving story. And thank you for being part of this story. Thank you, Dipali.
Thank you, Vijay, and to all our speakers for staying with for all the continued time and for all the powerful stories. What stood out was a simple truth. Transformation is rarely dramatic in a single day. It is built through consistent investment in children, teachers, and systems. And here we are, Vibha, and with you all. We will continue to do that. But I will now give it to Swati to introduce the next segment. Thank you, Vijay, once again for making this so engaging and inspiring. Thank you all. Over to you, Swati.
Thank you, Deepali. And thank you everyone who was part of that panel. I think it's just so incredible to see. I know we couldn't bring the entire village, as Deepali said, but we are a village. Every single one of us who's here today has a different role to play. And so I'm going to introduce you now to maybe a different kind of supporter, not our implementing partners, but some of the people who have been with us for many years, who have given their time, their treasure, their creative ways, in some ways as well, to what Vibha does, which I think is just a testament to the ways in which that each of us has the power to act and to contribute and to support the mission of quality education for every child. So the people in this upcoming panel are exactly those kinds of partners, who I'm very happy to know. I'll let them tell you a little bit more about that. But first, I'd love to introduce our moderator. So our moderator is Geetha Ranjan. So Geetha is an advisory board member at Vibha. So she leads some of our donor strategy work for transformation of education, but also for engagement as well. So with more than 15 years, I was going to say maybe even more than that, as a very experienced technology savvy professional, she gives her time and to Vibha to support us through growth strategy, operational excellence. She's a director at Freshworks, and I'll let you take it from here, Geetha.
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This has been so inspiring so far. I think just listening to many individuals talk about, as Vijay sir said, their micro and macro stories has been truly, truly inspiring. And it's also crazy to see the scale at which Vibha is growing and the impact we're making. So all the work that our volunteers are putting in, it's so inspiring to see where it's coming to life, and so many children and teachers changing their lives and where the impact is truly coming. So this has been very inspiring for me to hear, and I'm sure it inspires a lot of other donors and volunteers to do more and to see where their work is actually coming to life. With this, and Dipali, Ashwini, Swati, thank you so much for the opportunity to moderate this panel. Just going to introduce our esteemed guests. Going to start with Monika. Monika, are you on?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So Monica, I've met you once. I know you here in the Bay Area. You've been a committed supporter of Vibha since 2015. It's absolutely amazing. Driven by a deep belief that every child deserves access to quality education. So thank you so much for your time on this. And not just the time and effort. I think it's more of with a professional background in computer science and animation, you bring a lot of the analytical thinking and creativity to the philanthropic journey. So would love to hear on what inspires you to take this journey on. I'm sure you have a lot of other things you could be doing, but what really inspires you to give both your time and continue to keep donating to Vibha's mission is truly what we want to hear from you.
So thank you. Thanks, Geetha, for the introduction. So like Geetha mentioned, I've been involved with Vibha as a volunteer since 2015. Through the years, what happened was I also began to learn, sort of grow, I wouldn't say grow with the organization. The organization was already very established, but, grow within the organization as as someone who, was curious and wanted to, really try and understand how all of this works. We all know about, nonprofit organizations doing fabulous work. I mean, Vibha certainly isn't the only one in that space. So that there are plenty of organizations who do fabulous work. But my curiosity led me to wanting to really understand how this all comes together. So in that process, I think again that's where it sort of built my I would say passion or my commitment towards the cause sort of built over was built over the years. I don't know if I'm answering your question entirely, but that's definitely one part of it. The other also is, I do believe in education being kind of like a foundation for any sort of future prospects. So it is an important kind of building block, and it is something that requires attention. So and there are so many different. What happens is as the society also changes, as our outlook also changes, we have to keep redefining it. It's not always a one-stop, one solution kind of a thing. So we have to keep looking at education from that lens. That's where I am right now. Again, involved with Vibha for a while, and now also I can proudly say that I'm able to kind of contribute financially as well, and very grateful that I'm able to do that.
Thank you so much, Monika. I do have a few follow-up questions, but I just want to go to our other panelists and introduce them real quick. Rangesh Shah, are you here?
Yes, namaste.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
You've been born and raised in Dublin after 30 years of experience in information technology and having a very, very successful career. You shifted your focus really to uplifting less fortunate people in and around the Dubai area. You serve as the president of the Community Foundation, a nonprofit charitable organization working to advance the underprivileged people in Gujarat, the Boi area and surrounding area. So you've been living and breathing this space for the longest time and inspiring and uplifting millions of people. So thank you so much for that. Wanted to see if I wanted to add anything else on what really inspires you to give and how did you make that shift from having the illustrious career in IT to doing where you are right now?
So I've been associated with Vibha, donating for more than 15 years. When the time came to throw the towel and do a second inning of my life, Vibha was very instrumental in inspiring me to focus on education, right? Now, Vibha's mission is education, and I'm strongly sold on that one. However, education has a interesting twist to it because unlike many other ways of helping others, serving others, education has the very long payback time. So something you do today does not come to life for many years, as you heard from the stories earlier, right? It's not something happens overnight. So it's a very interesting and patience testing initiative to serve others. But since Viva was doing that from day one, that was my inspiration to do something for our hometown based on my interaction with Vijay and the Viva as an organization.
That's great. Thank you so much, Rangesh. I have some questions, but I want to quickly introduce our third panelist, Anu and Dhruba. They're both founders of Art Kriti. So that I think it's a very inspiring name. By the way, it's super fun when you combine the two. With Anu being an artist and Dhruba being an engineer, the creation of Art Kriti allows them to collaborate in ways that allow them to create and contribute and give back to society. One, it's super fun name. Like I said, I think it resonates really well. Well, thank you so much for being with the band today, for being here. Wanted to get your perspective on what is it that inspires you to give in general. Like, and you've made a shift from, again, your careers in life to philanthropy in general and to give. That's a huge step. So wanted to understand, how did you decide to make that shift at all in generally in life?
Thank you, Geetha. Thank you for introducing us. Yes, we recently started a very small non-profit organization of our own. It's called Art Kriti. Art means art, Kriti means creativity. And I've been with Vibha for some time now. I think I moved back from London in 2016, and since then I've been associated with Vibha first as a volunteer. I was introduced to Vibha by a friend of mine, since I'm also a elementary school teacher. So the youth chapter of Vibha was doing a spelling bee competition, and I was a moderator there. So that's how I got into Vibha, and since then it's on the roll. Like did small little volunteering jobs, and my kids also volunteered for Vibha in their dandiya events and other stuff. So as a family, we were always connected to Vibha. And now the kids have gone out and they are studying in they are pursuing their dreams. So Dhruba and I decided to start Art Kriti. We curate small private evenings where the talents from the local talents, they come and they showcase their talent, and we raise money through that, and everything, all the proceeds go to Vibha. So yeah, that's how we want to be connected with Vibha, at the same time, promote art also. So it's a very interesting way of giving back to the society, I think.
Yeah, and nurturing talent.
Nurturing talent,
Like
yes,
it's
yes, yes.
not everyone gets to showcase what they're doing these days. So this is an amazing platform.
So I wanted to, keep that going. And yeah, it's been a really interesting journey since January, and it's a small step, but I think it will go a long way.
For sure. Dhruba, anything to add?
No, I think this is great intro from my wife. So I think we are together in this.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much again for the introductions. Like I said, we're very, very thankful for your time this morning or evening. I think you all answered this somehow in parts, but there are many nonprofits, and each of them are doing their bit to contribute both in the education space and in helping children. I wanted to understand what connected you to Vibha. What did you feel like that? What was the differentiator with Vibha compared to some other organizations? Maybe it was a network, maybe it was the mission, maybe it was the scale, impact. What was it that made a difference to you, and how did you decide to go with Vibha and to lend your time and your expertise to Vibha? And we can start from you, and then we can go.
Sure, yeah, I can maybe give you a little bit background on how we got started, right? So I think both of us were definitely very interested in focusing on education or educational needs back in India. And there are a lot of organizations that do this, but one of the big things that I saw in Vibha is that Vibha is working through the government to actually make changes. So instead of us making point changes in one school here and another school there, both of us figured out that that's the right way for us to kind of make bigger changes in policy in the governments and impact a large swath of people. So that was definitely one of the primary reasons why we were interacting with Vibha. And the second one, like Anu mentioned, is that we have a good association with being a volunteer in Vibha for a long time. And I saw the passion of all the volunteers that we work with. They're like really dedicated to the cause. And I felt, both of us felt that when you are working with people that we really appreciate and find inspiration from, that's a great place for us to actually put in our time and effort. Anything else?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, we could see the impact when we moved, when we went to some of the schools back home in Assam. We saw there were issues. Definitely there are issues. I mean, of course, we are helping. The whole idea is to help the underprivileged class of kids back home. But we also have need to see that where, from the point where we have started and the point where we are today. You know, I understand that there are issues, but everybody is working really hard towards it, teachers, volunteers, the whole organization, and hats off to each one of them. And we are really inspired by the volunteers, the teachers, and everything. So we are both are from teachers background. My parents are teachers, his parents are teachers, so that was also a big reason why we wanted to focus on education.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Rangesh Sir, if I can go to you.
Sure. As far as I'm concerned, I have been associated with Vibha for a long time, but that donorship kind of changed into partnership early in 2020 or 2021. Ironically enough, that's where we started a non-profit called Dubai Community Foundation. Dubai is the place where we grew up with help of my brothers. We started that in, roughly speaking, 2021. We just completed our 5 years. And we partnered with Vibha on education side. Vibha had already working with Shikshana, and we brought that program to Dubai block. Currently, we have 92 schools that we work with in Dubai area with Vibha and Shikshana, and we roll out motivational program called Samyak Prerna program. Something that I see, I spend about 5 to 6 months every year in India. I'm retired here. So as a native Minnesotans, most people, when they retire, they go to Florida for snowboarding. They refer to it as from October to March, and I go to India for that. So I spend 5 to 6 months in India, and I see this work day in, day out. I go to visit the schools. I know the mentors. I know the kids, and we do multiple programs in education. But this is one of the high impact program, and that's why we love Vibha and what they are doing.
Oh, thank you for that. And to see the partnership with 92 schools, that's actually amazing. So
yes.
Kudos to you. And the I think you said there was Samyak Prerna program.
Yeah,
truly inspiring.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there are about 4,500 kids in that part of these 92 schools.
Wow.
And you do see the difference because, when you see the smiles on kids' face when they are excited, and they are happy to be part of the school program. So this thing does work, trust me. But it's not, like I said earlier, it's a long process. You are in for a long race, but the rewards are high. And I strongly believe education really helps to change the society in long term. So that's what I'm, hand to hand and in partnership with Vibha, because we strongly believe in the same cause.
It's amazing to hear. Thank you for that. Monika, over to you. So again, there's no dearth of organizations in the Bay Area that, approach people like you. I'm sure you're a very wanted personality across all of them. What made you choose Vibha? I'm very, very thankful for you being part of this. What made you choose Vibha?
So I think I sort of see it the other way around, right? In some senses, Vibha chose me, kind of a thing, simply because I was associated with the organization. So I had enough time to really learn not just what Vibha does, but what this space requires. So that was one reason why. But having said that, as I learned, I would say that the thing that's the most meaningful to me is the systemic change. is the fact that we're a strategic partner. That's a huge deal for me, because the issues are going to be there. I mean, the issues are probably much larger than what any one organization can do. And the issues also kind of evolve and change, right? I mean, some things may get resolved over a certain period of time, over the many years, but then some other new challenges come up, and which is fine. I mean, I don't see that as a problem, because we keep working at it, and by we, I mean all the stakeholders that are a part of it, government including, or every stakeholder. We keep at it, right? But the thing that is a very important aspect for me is the strategic part of it. This is not just thinking of what is needed today and only kind of approach that part, but it's also what is needed today and how can we foresee that a few years from now. How can we think of solutions that have sustenance, that can actually scale, that have sustenance, that have legs, that when we are not here today, somebody else can also take on and make that basically evolve that and make that meaningful even years down the line. So that's the thought process that I like. Definitely so rooted my support to Vibha.
Yeah, thank you, Monika. So just following up on that same question, on the same line, when you think of other donors who want to be in this space, or who are like now thinking, should it be Vibha, should it be somebody else, somebody else? Is there a specific, how did you first approach it in terms of, do you have a specific school? Is it a specific state, a program that you associate yourself deeply with? Again, maybe because of family reasons, or somewhere where you saw the problems really, really deep. Or do you think of it as more of India as a country as a large when you donate?
Right. So for me, personally, I sort of went with the former that you mentioned. I do, again, like I said, it was a twofold thing, right? I mean, anything that would have a more strategic kind of a solution, that sort of an approach is definitely something that's close to my heart, and I would definitely go towards that, or gravitate towards that. Having said that, it was also important for me to, be able to visit, or we not just visit, but also have that association in a way that I can also understand the context a lot better. And for that purpose, because I am from Maharashtra, I'm from Pune, so I chose to associate with the Vibha Rachna initiative, because for me, the context is easier for me to understand. The language, obviously, Marathi is my native language. So, so for me to be able to communicate, with, with students at the school, with the parents, or with Rachna officials, or with government officials, I'm able to kind of understand that context and understand that the lay of the land a lot better. Also, I have to say that this is, I'm sort of, in terms of sort of big donation, if you will, this is my second opportunity. So given that, I wanted that association. Would I think of it that way, say 2 years down the line? Maybe, maybe not, right? But that is how I wanted it to be this time. And it's been truly meaningful. I recently, I mean, this was last year, or was it this year? I'm kind of losing track of time. I think it was earlier this year that I did have the opportunity to visit a couple of schools, one in Ranzegaon and one in Kuskau. This is in the Bhor district that Mr. Ramdas Patel was referring to. So, and it was truly meaningful to just see. And this is not just what the children are, what the impact is. Obviously, that is what the goal is at the end of the day. But it is to see how how Vibha and Rachna, as you know, Rachna being so rooted in the community, and Vibha kind of being that strategic, partner in this whole solution, how we're able to really penetrate within the community and and make a difference at that level, because some of these things are not necessarily quantifiable. This is not going to be a bar graph or a pie chart at the end of the day that says this percent and this percent was learning level improvement and so on and so forth. Some of these are quantitative. The study corner that Vijay talked about or mentioned about, that's a phenomenal. I mean, it's such a as an idea, it's a very basic idea, but it's so meaningful in the community. So so anyway, I won't get into all of those details in the interest of time. But my point being that yes, this time around, I did find it just for me to also feel that connection. I did find it meaningful to have my donations go towards a specific Vibha initiative. And again, what tomorrow holds, we don't know, but at least today, that is what it is. And I feel really grateful that, going, the next few years, at least I know that I'll be able to, whenever I'm traveling back to Pune, I know I'll be able to, visit some of these schools and again meet and connect with all the with all the Rachna folks.
Yeah. I think that's something that truly with Vibha is amazing, that you can see the impact. It's so transparent that you're not really bounded by, okay, you can't visit, or there are only certain times you can visit. That makes it feel like, oh, are you hiding something from me? But here it's all open door policy. Like you come, you see the impact, you see where it's actually being, where there is a gap maybe that you see that you can contribute. That is truly amazing that it's so transparent in the way Vibha holds its operations and the transparency with the donors itself. Rangesh, I want to come back to you in terms when Monica talked about penetration. Obviously, you are probably the most penetrated into one small community within Gujarat. Do you plan to now scale across to other regions within Gujarat, or is it more because of this one connection or this one nonprofit that you started that you want to keep yourself rooted into that program?
Like, we are from the boy, right? And we want to stick to that. There is so much poverty and such a low education level. So we really want to focus in that area and especially help the people in small villages. Because one of the problems that all of us are witnessing is migration to bigger cities. And that's where we lose the grassroots culture that we have when people go from their hometown, which some of us did. A lot of people on this call who are in US, we came from India, and obviously we have a better future, but nonetheless, our heart is still there. So I think I'd rather minimize that as much as we can. So we have a lot of work to be done in the area where we are, and rather focus on that one for a while. But fully aligned with what Vibha is doing.
Yeah, that's great. Do you want to highlight a little bit on the Samyak Prerna program?
Sure. The Samyak Prerna program is motivational program, right? It encourages kids to stay in the school. It also has a math module. It has 10 modules, and kids go through them. We have modified program a little bit in the boy area because I'm strongly believer of touching the kids. One of the main mission that we have for the Boy Community Foundation is we really want to make our beneficiaries, may that be our kids, may that be our female who are coming for vocational classes or whatever, or whoever we touch, our main aim is to make them feel that they matter. One of the biggest things we can do for other human beings is make them feel that they are worth it, they are important, they are needed, they are loved. I think that's the first thing that we try to do. And by having Samyak program, right, what it does is the kids feel important. They get the badge. and they're coming to school every day. Now, going to school every day in by itself is not a huge accomplishment, but they're proud of that. They're proud of that green badge. Or then they go into they get ribbon. We have class monitor. Then we have school president. They wear some kind of red thing or yellow thing, and they proudly show you when you go to see that. When I go to school, I see them. Oh, we are proud of it. So I think those small things matters, because at the end of the day, once we kind of give them the feeling of they matter, that gets up to a point where they have curiosity, they have confidence. And once we can put them in the kids, I think the game is over. We don't have to find them PhD material. I think they will learn on their own once the basic stuff is taken care of. So I see that a lot more hands-on, and it's very happy feeling to have that.
No, it's one thing that resonated was, just I have a 4-year-old and he gets inspired by getting a star every day, which what makes him to go back to learn his alphabets. Being in a privileged, but plus now comparing it to people from the underprivileged class, when they get something like this, it must mean a world to them about getting a badge, getting that motivation. So, thank you so much for doing that. Anu and Dhruba, over to you. So, is there any program geography that you felt most associated with? I know you talked about Assam in the beginning. Is that one place that you're contributing, or are there other programs within Vibha that inspires you to be here?
Right now, as a donor, this is our first year, and we got attracted to Vibha because it was because Vibha was starting a new chapter in Assam. You know how you get connected to the area, and then you get more because you are familiar with the system, with the language. So that's how we are connected to the chapter in Assam. Again, we visited 2 schools in the rural parts of Assam, and I was there. I got an opportunity. I grabbed the opportunity rather to teach the kids for half an hour, and it was very emotional. It was as Mr. Shah said, I was checking their papers when they were writing alphabets, and I just gave them a smiley, and it actually brought a big smile on their faces. The small little things really to give them the incentive, and they were very excited about it. So yes, we did visit these 2 schools. It was kind of heartbreaking to see the classrooms. One of the classroom was right up in front of a bathroom, and while doing the tour itself, I could not stand there for more than 5 minutes. Can you imagine kids studying there? How can they do it? It just brought tears in my eyes, and yeah, I'm still getting emotional looking at those, thinking about the kids. And again, the kitchen area was full of flies. So it was a small pot for so many people, so many kids, and there were a lot of flies there. So all these things were made us feel so we are really privileged. We need to share that privilege with other people. It's we need to do something to help the kids. So that's where we actually got involved into Vibha, and we thought that this is the right way to go, probably. And
So yeah, we are very focused on that particular region for now. Like Anu said, we just started. So very much focused. We also know some of the people in the government, so we also went and met some of the officials who actually make some of these decisions, just as a kind of a sanity check for us.
Yeah.
And I felt all the new generation government officials that I met, they're all very dedicated to actually making things better. So I think next time we go there, we'll probably meet few more and see how we can actually start making an impact there. This is just the start, so we haven't been doing this for too long, probably for the last 6 months or maybe half a year. So hope we can get to focus more on this area particularly. But we also do want to scale up over time. So like your question about scale up, I think that's going to be critical for us to able to scale out and not just focus on one instance.
I definitely would like to add that yes, we do want to give incentives to the kids, yes, so that they look forward to coming to school the next day, definitely. But being a teacher, I would also say that a lot teachers also need a lot of encouragement there. A lot of encouragement. They need more resources. They are for a only when you are happy you can spread the joy.
Right.
So the teachers also need some more resources to be
Yeah.
able to impart whatever they have to impart. So it is very important, equally important, I think, to have good teachers and to give them good resources.
Yeah. And I want to take a little bit off script, and one question that keeps coming up as people think about donation and what they say is the connection with government. Unfortunately, there is a bad reputation around government, bureaucracy, corruption. I mean, I don't think that's it's not hard to take those away, unfortunately, in many societies, and not just in India, across the world. How do you think about breaking that barrier, you know, crossing the bureaucracy, crossing the politics and everything, and truly helping the communities? Every donation, every dollar, or every rupee that we spend on this, that it's actually going to the children. How do you help break that? How did that help? How did that make that happen for you? Like, how did you think that some of this will go across these bureaucracies and help impact the children?
Yeah, I think this is a great question because initially, both of us were always convinced that we have to work through the government. Doesn't matter what party is in power or something. I'm not worried about like
Right.
political affiliations. But I think what really helped us make clear decision is actually go and meet some of these officials.
Mm.
So we worked with Rahul, I think from Vikramshila. He took us to meet one or two government IAS officers, and then that kind of gets the message that the people on the top of the bureaucracy are actually very committed. So if we
Mhm.
can get one or two people sometimes to give us quotes or talk to us or talk to more prospective donors, I'm hoping we can kind of break down some of the barriers that people have in their minds. They are all new generations people, and I think they're all very focused, and they actually know about a lot of online stuff. They're aware of what's happening in the world, and
Yeah.
then understand the difference between people in the developed countries, kids versus the kids in back in India. So I think they're all very motivated. We need to showcase some of them, and I think we are doing as part of this conference as well. And if we can bring in more people in government who can talk to people, prospective donors, I'm guessing we can get more donors over time.
Yeah. Monica, I want to ask you this question, particularly given in the US, people who have spent years and years who have probably not seen I mean, of course, they're maybe familiar with it, but they've actually not lived through it, or it's been ages since they've been there. What's the barrier or how can we help break that barrier to people and say, hey, your money is actually going to go, impact these kids and these teachers who really need it? What are some ways that helped you cross those barriers, and how can we help other donors like you?
I think conversation with the organization to begin with, right? Just to understand how does, in this case, since we're talking about Vibha, how does Vibha work, right? So for me personally, I look at this very practically. At the end of the day, whatever part of the world you think of, bureaucracy just kind of, wears different clothing in different places, kind of a thing. It is a part of the system, and for me personally, I'm not here to change that because it's going to be an integral part of whatever geography one wants to work in. Having said that, a very interesting conversation once that I had with Dr. Dheer, who's from Language and Learning Foundation, one of our partners, who we work with in Chhattisgarh. He himself has been an IAS officer, a fabulous person to speak with. And there's only one sentence that he said. He said, you can't achieve, if you want to really, penetrate within kind of the nooks and crannies of communities, the only way to do it is through the system.
Yeah.
And the biggest part in this piece is our own team, right? The Vibha team. Yeah. We've got a fabulous team on the ground. All of our project managers, in the way that they work. So, as Dhruba just mentioned, he spoke with Rahul. Rahul Ranjan is, one of our project managers in that area. So, like him, there are, our team is immensely strong. So, how to work within the system is a part of that whole process. So, for me, I think personally, let's not stray from reality that anywhere we work, I mean, today it's in India, tomorrow if we choose to work in a different country, there will be some red tape. It's going to happen. Like I said, it's just going to be, it just wears different clothing in different places. Yeah. So, but then in the way that the system is set up within how it say works in India, you will, I mean, the only way to scale is going to be, through the larger machinery, which I do have confidence in. However, I mean, it is painstaking. It can have its sort of, sometimes there is that whole lag in the reach simply because maybe governments change or maybe the priorities change. Maybe the focus areas change. Even within education, sometimes, the central government could say that now our focus area is a certain, whatever that certain thing might be. But there are ways to work, and that's why we have the team that we have in India, right? I mean, our Vibha team in India is precisely that. I mean, we have the cream of the crop, and we're working hard on the ground. So that's basically, for me, that's how I, I feel that confidence. And that is what I would say to anyone else who is, who's probably considering Vibha as one of the NGOs to donate to.
Great. No, that's very
helpful. Thank you, Monika. And thank you, Geetha. I'm so sorry I have to do a time check. But I would just also like to let Geetha, maybe if you want to close us out here. But also for anyone who's able to stay on, we will have a live Q&A session later in the call, as Deepali mentioned earlier. So this conversation can continue. We just want to be respectful to our next panelists as well.
Yep. So maybe, Rangesh, I want to end with you, where do you imagine education 10 years from now, and where do you hope organizations like Vibha will play in this? Again, you're deeply rooted in this. You are contributing at the most grassroots level that we can think of, where we start from. Where do you see this going? How can we as a team, as Vibha, play a role in improving the system more and more?
Sorry, Geetha, was that for me?
For Rangesh, sir.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Thank you. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. As far as I'm concerned, I think Vibha continues to work with government. To me, that's the biggest plus. We are not in competition with government. Government has unlimited resources. We rather use their resources and make a difference. I'm a IT guy, software guy. So to me, if I can plug in a software by using the infrastructure, they have the buildings, they have the teachers, they have the Madhyan meal program, meaning a midday lunch program. They have water, they have smart boards, they have everything you need. They have, most of our schools have Wi-Fi now. So why not we improve that system that they have by plugging in somebody who cares, like a teacher who is very passionate about helping bring the kids to the school, and their system is already there. We just have to power it with the software, with our own people, and we can make a huge difference. So to me, I think if Vibha can continue to do that without creating our own silos, we don't need to build buildings. We just need to make what's out there better. And I think that's where all of us need to focus on.
Yeah, amazing words. I think that was the perfectly said. I think for the closing, we just need to make the system better and better. And I think, like we all pointed out in this panel and otherwise, it's not going to happen in a day. This is a change that we all have to work towards. But in that, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate. Swati, over to you.
No, thank you so much, Geetha. I want to thank both you, Geetha, for moderating, as well as Monika, Anu and Dhruba, and Rangesh for being part of this panel, for sharing with us not only why you were part of Vibha, but also your personal stories. We were very grateful for all of this. And I just, in the interest of time, I'll turn it over to Deepali for us to move forward.
Yeah, thank you so much, Swati, and everybody, Geetha, Monika, Rangesh and Anu and Dhruba, for all the engaging conversation that we had, and we'll continue to have. But in interest of time, so for everybody, if the previous panel reflected commitments across decades, this next one reflects the energy of the future. Vibha has always believed that young people are not merely volunteers for tomorrow, they are leaders of today. This session brings a senior volunteer, youth volunteers, and there is a surprise for you all for an intergenerational conversation about leadership, purpose, and future of civic engagements. Please welcome our energetic youth leaders, Kyle Yan from Atlanta Action Center, Vivid Shriram from Bay Area, and with them we also have Vasudha Shriram, who is leading the youth committee of Vibha. She is also from Bay Area. Before they take a stage, let's meet our youth across the rest of the Action Center through a short film. Deepak, can you please share that video?
सोचा कहाँ था ये जो हो गया, माना कहाँ था ये लो हो गया, चुटकी कोई काटो ना है हम तो होश में, कदमों को थामो ये है उड़ते जोश में, बादल पे पाँव है या झूठा गाँव है, अब तो भाई चल पड़ी अपनी ये नाव है, बादल पे पाँव है या झूठा गाँव है, अब तो भाई चल पड़ी अपनी ये नाव है।
I hope everybody enjoyed what was there, a glimpse of our all youth volunteers across 7-8 action centers. Thank you, Deepak. And I'm sure with the energy created by this video, the momentum will be taken forward by Kyle, Vivid, and Vasudha. Over to you, Kyle and Vivid. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kyle.
I hope you're all doing well today, but hi. So more formal introduction. My name is Kyle Yan. I've been a Vibha volunteer since 2022, and today I chose to talk about finding purpose. Now, I want you to imagine this from back when you were 15 years old. You're a boy, you're 15 years old, and you joined this organization you know nothing about, all because a girl you liked told you to come. It is 4 a.m. and it's the day of the Dream Mile. Your alarm shakes you awake and you feel terrible. You barely slept. Quickly, you get ready for the long day ahead of you. You grab your clothes, get dressed, and drink some water. Then your mom takes you to the site of the Dream Mile. You wave by as you suddenly realize it's the middle of September and it's almost 50 degrees. And all you're wearing is a long sleeve t-shirt and sweatpants. On top of that, the rain is coming down hard and the wind is absolutely vicious. You arrived as part of the site prep team with other amazing volunteers like Praveen, who is now leading the Atlanta chapter, and other like-minded youth. It is around 5:15 a.m. by the time all volunteers from morning site prep arrive. We needed to set up stations for registration, and sponsorship teams are scheduled to arrive at 5:45 a.m. We only have 30 minutes until they arrive. We scramble to get all the tables and chairs out in the rain, nothing but devotion from each one of us. It was essential that site prep executed our duties so that Dream Mile can run smoothly. This is the Dream Mile from my perspective. It's my story. Now, I originally thought Dream Mile was just an event, but it's so much more than that. It helps children all over India realize that quality education is a right and not a privilege. I came here for a girl, but I stayed for the mission. That day, I logged 14 volunteer hours from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., setting up tables, loading and unloading trucks, and organizing chaos. And for the last 3 years, I've logged over 350 hours. In addition to that, I won the 5K in my age bracket twice, as well as being awarded the Star Volunteer of the Year award by Vibha Atlanta, and the next year, Youth Volunteer of the Year. They say, and here's a quote from one of my favorite people. They say, if you want something with all your heart, the whole universe conspires to make it happen for you. What I want with all my heart is to support the underprivileged. And in order to do this, I'm continuing a mission to help children's education by leading this year's site prep for Dream Mile. And after that, hopefully joining the national team to lead and serve at a higher level. Thank you.
An inspiring story. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. It's Vivid. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being with us this morning, listening along. It's great to have everybody. My name is Vivid Sriram. I've been a Vibha volunteer for 4 years, and today I want to talk about how we can further strengthen our connection to India and, by association, specifically the people that we serve here at Vibha being underprivileged students. Most Vibha volunteers never get to see the direct impact that the beneficiaries of our work benefit from. Most volunteers in the US never even get to talk to the students that they work year-round to benefit. So we must ask ourselves truly, how can we continue to find motivation and drive to volunteer when, for the most part, we're working towards an immaterial goal that we never get to see achieved with our own eyes? Well, recently I had the opportunity to see the status of Vibha of Indian government schools that Vibha supports for myself. A few weeks ago, I visited 2 government schools in Tamil Nadu that were both supported by Vibha, and I got the opportunity to talk to a few classes of children and ask them a few things like how Vibha helps them at school, what their school experiences are like, and finally what they would like to be improved. That one is the most important part. This was a very impactful experience for me because, as I previously mentioned, I, like many volunteers, have never really been able to envision the work that what I did at Vibha actually amounts to progress. I mean, I've always been very motivated by the idea of supporting Indian students and kids, but this was real. These are real people with names, stories, and their own individual lives that I was able to build a personal connection to. So, how can we maximize this connection in what we do? This doesn't just apply to volunteering for Vibha. This can apply to anything that you do in your life to benefit people. When we try to reach or connect with a larger audience, we should value the experiences of students and the students themselves in the way we carry ourselves. We can use these names, stories, and connections to let other people in on the connections that we have with these students and our drive to help them succeed. Whatever we do, when we maximize our connection to the people that we serve, we not only build better volunteers, but we build more unity and overall a stronger Vibha community. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Vasudha?
Thanks, Dipali. Thanks for putting me in the youth group. Feels young, makes me feel much younger. So, yeah, good morning to Bay Area folks. Good afternoon and good evening to folks logging in from India. I know it's pretty late. Thanks for staying on. First of all, I want to start by thanking Dipali and team for organizing this conference. It actually brought so much perspective to what we do as Vibha volunteers after hearing from everyone. It's even more motivating to continue the journey as volunteers. I'd like to thank Kyle and Vivid for being part of this Impact Conference, representing the Vibha Youth Committee. This is a great example of what is possible when young people are trusted with responsibility and given the opportunity to lead. So during my time with the Vibha Bay Area Youth Team, I have often asked myself, what does success really look like for a youth volunteer team? Is it the number of youth volunteers who sign up? Is it the number of fundraising events that we organize? Or is it the amount of money we raise, right? These are all important, but I realize that that isn't quite my vision for the youth team. So my vision is pretty simple. I believe that when young people are given a safe space to explore ideas, express themselves, take ownership, and even make mistakes, they create incredibly innovative and meaningful ways to serve. So they don't need us to tell them every minute exactly what to do. What they do need from us is to believe in them, guide them, and give them the confidence they need to lead. So that's actually when the surprises, when they even surprise themselves. So they begin to see themselves not just as volunteers, but as change makers. So when earlier this year, this belief became an opportunity, when Ashwini reached out to me with the idea of creating this youth empowerment committee, of extending the vision across all Vibha youth action centers, I was really excited to be part of it. It's been 6 months now, approximately 6 months now. But we've already brought together youth volunteers from Bay Area, Atlanta, Chicago, Boston to collaborate towards a common goal. We've digitally enabled a government school in Hyderabad, Telangana. So if you're a youth volunteer or a youth leader and we would love for you to be part of our team, there are plenty of opportunities to take initiative, to lead meaningful projects and make a real difference. So what gives me the great sense of pride isn't just what the youth team have accomplished today, it's who they're becoming, right? So I hope in years from now, these youth volunteers won't just remember the events they organize or the fundraisers they lead. They'll remember the empathy they've developed, the confidence they've gained, the friendships they've built, the understanding that leadership begins with listening and service. And one day they hope they come back to Vibha, not because someone invited them, but because they genuinely believe in its mission. They come back as mentors, donors, professionals, board members, or even as parents who will encourage their next generation to serve as Vibha volunteers. Because this is how lasting impact is created. So Vibha has spent more than 3 decades empowering children through education. Today, through the Youth Empowerment Committee, we're also empowering young people to become compassionate leaders who will carry this mission forward. So I'll leave you with one thought. We often say children are our future. I believe our responsibility is not just to simply prepare them for the future, but to give them opportunities to start shaping it today. So thank you for believing in our youth, for believing in Vibha, for believing that when we invest in young people, we're not just building volunteers, but we're building leaders. Thank you.
Yeah, with this wonderful thought, I think you would like to continue to the intergenerational conversation. The floor is for you, Kyle and Vivith. So Kyle and Vivith are going to do this question and answer session, not answer, but question session to the audience. Hello?
All right. I would love to hear your guys' questions.
So it's you ask them questions and they would love to answer. So who wants to volunteer to ask them questions? Anybody from the audience? Anyone?
So the audience
I was going to say, I have one. So Kyle, for me, I just loved your story of, I mean, who hasn't done something for a girl or a boy? You know what I mean? You know, when you're a teenager, but it is so much more to than stick with it. Right? I mean, we've all been there. So for you guys, we've asked this to some of the other panelists, but I'd love to know what you think. Where do you see your future in terms of thinking about quality education for others? Because it sounds like, yes, this came about, maybe at least for you, Kyle, kind of accidentally, but you've stuck with it. So like, what would you love to see is maybe my first question. And then the second is, what can we do as people who are maybe a little bit older than you? I don't know if I want to say adults, but I think adults, to support you in what you want to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally understand your question. So what I would love to see more of is not just impact in India, but also localized impact, because we do localized impact, but I would love to see more of it because a lot of our donor base does come from all the cities around America, Atlanta, Bay Area, Chicago, Boston, Dallas, right? And they all give so much. So it'd be great to give back to our community, right? Of course, the main mission is to be supporting underprivileged education, but sometimes, even in America, we have some people who are underprivileged, right? And then to answer to your second part, what can adults do in order to support the youth? I personally believe that it may be difficult for youth to help, right? Because you don't want to compromise the quality of something just so you can get youth involved, right? If the adult can do it better, I believe that they can do it. But I think the purpose of youth should be to eventually take the place of them, as well as to support in whatever way they can. So any opportunity to help out with a project, any opportunity to maybe get their friends courage and their parents, right? That's what I think that adults can do to support us. And I see that both Prabir and Anu and Dhruba have questions. So Vivid, do you want to take that or do you want me to do?
I could take any questions, but depends on who.
Yeah, Anu and Dhruba, do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. I have one question for both of you, or maybe whoever wants to answer. So both of you are students and you have like a active study sessions and career growth and everything else. What will be your message to somebody who wants to join the youth chapter, let's say, but then they're kind of challenged saying that, oh, I have so many other things to do as part of my career and my studies and school and everything. How do I find time to do this? Do you have any advice, like what motivates you and what will be your advice to somebody who wants to go and join the youth chapter at Viva?
I can take this one. So I think the main thing is that we as members of Vibha motivate people to join because we work for this cause, not because we work for a resume, because we don't work for a resume. We work for the people. We don't work for an extracurricular. We don't work for any of that. That's not our main goal. So I think when we put that at the front of things, at the front of our messaging, we are sending a message. And I think everybody has time for public service. Everybody has time for community service. And it's one thing I would say to answer your question. One thing that I would say to somebody who isn't sure about joining because they don't think they have time because they're focused on their career or their studies, I would say, especially to another high school student, you always have time for helping in the community. You always have time for helping other people. And that will enrich your career more than any tutoring session, any extra summer course will, because you'll learn how to care, you'll learn how to listen, and you'll learn how to be focused on helping something that's bigger than you yourself.
Super, thank you.
Well said. Monika has given you a comment. Well said, and everybody's clapping for your answer. We'll go to Prabir. Prabir, you had a question? I think I saw hand raised by Prabir.
Yeah, Prabir, you're muted.
Okay, I was trying to unmute myself, but anyway, somebody did that for me. Okay, cool. Okay, first of all, I really like to thank both of you guys. I mean, the youth program in Vibha is very successful, and thanks to folks like you. So the one thing that I would want to ask you is that much as you guys have contributed to, the youth program and, are great leaders for the future, one of the things that we, find a challenge with is for kids, for young people like you to be involved, during their high school time and then move on, and then they're not as involved. So what would you say to those people, and what would you guys do personally to keep this movement going among young people? Because, that's where their language. So how can you continue this forward in your journey as well as influence others? That's my question.
So personally, I believe that once they do exit that youth space, so once they're graduating from high school, some colleges in my area do have college programs of Vibha, UGA, GT. They all have college programs, as well as some other ones I'm not aware of right now. However, there are other opportunities to stay involved. You can start volunteering with the adults, or you can even start with other nonprofits and try to get some kind of collaboration going on. It's not like you graduate high school, you can't volunteer with Vibha anymore, right? It's always a continuing journey of helping, right?
Yeah. And we have, we'll take this one more question. We have Sagira Sheikh. She is from Mumbai. Sagira, you want to ask question? You raised your hand.
Can somebody unmute her?
Now I can see. Good. So I was having the question like from where you get this idea to join Vibha, like from where you get this information that there is a platform you can join and you can serve as you wanted to serve and be part of the society to, as in giving priority to humanity. And second thing is, which is that one thought which pushes you to be in this Vibha. So that is my question.
So, Vivek, do you want to take it up?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So when I joined Vibha, I was very young. It was 4 years ago, so around 12, 13 years old. Not really old enough where I'm able to join things by myself. So I'll say when I joined Vibha at first, it was because my mom was involved as the youth chapter leader, and she said, "Vivid, you have to join." So that's what I did. But now that I'm 16, I've joined many organizations that work towards helping working people and volunteering, and that goes along with Vibha's message. So I would say if I had never joined Vibha at 13, I definitely would have joined at 16. And to the second part of your question, I'm sorry, can you repeat what it was?
She asked what pushes you every day to be part of. Yeah.
Sorry. Kind of what I spoke to earlier. The vision, the motivation comes from helping people. That's what I've always wanted to do, and that's what I'll continue to do. And I think a lot of people are moved by that message. And this kind of ties back to the last question, where I think past high school, when people go out and do their own things, people who want to help are going to be here every single day because they're motivated, just like we are, by what we do at Vibha. Thank you.
Thank you. In the interest of time, please drop your question. Maybe we will take it up we will have an open house after some time. But thank you, Kyle, Vivid, and Vasudha for bringing this together and having an inspiring conversation. There is a beautiful African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. What we witnessed was exactly that, different generation united by a shared purpose. Though we had a little time on our plate, but still, that entire three panels together to combine, it's like the future of education will not be built by one age group. It will be built when experiences and fresh ideas sit at the same table. We reflected on the past, celebrated the present. Now it is time to look ahead. What are emerging opportunities in Vibha? How can proven solutions scale responsibility? What can donors, volunteers, educators, and institutions play the next chapter of the impact? To explore this, please welcome Ashwini Kumar again, our CEO of Vibha, to give us way forward.
Thank you, Dipali. What a fantastic conversation. And just all of the wonderful conversations about how we are supporting teachers on the ground, how we are supporting, motivating the students to show up every day, how we're making a difference by giving opportunities to our donors, volunteers to visit our projects, to see and truly see the difference they're making, also show them in a very transparent way as to what the ground realities are, right? All of these conversations actually make us who we are, and it's truly special for me today. And just knowing that we're not alone doing this together, and we're all here together to do this. Loved what Vivek said. We grow more when we care more, and here's an opportunity for us to do more and more, and we have a community now, so it's very exciting. Education is not a privilege, it's a birthright, and now we have an opportunity to transform disadvantaged child through education, and I think we should all take it and do more. Vibha has an opportunity in front of us now. We have brought together such an awesome community of government officials who believe in education and are looking for ways to transform it. We have teachers and educators who truly need our support and are on board to explore with us. And there are volunteers ready to give their time and treasure and skills to us. And then there are donors who are ready to invest in us. So we have to step up to become better partners, and we have to partner in training our teachers who are the true heroes of our society. And Vibha has to take this opportunity to bring the community together. And this is the start of it all. Thank you, Dipali and Swati, for putting this conference together. And I think we are going to do more of this and more of this sort of conversation to get the community together. The way forward for Vibha is to keep going and forging deeper relationship with the government. This was a very clear thread that we heard about: systemic change, strategic partner. So we want to forge a more deeper relationship with the government. We want to enable the existing system with robust data analysis that like we've done in Nagaland, support our teachers with tools and trainings, and support the students to create an environment that they can thrive in. That we've been doing in the 13 states that we're working in. We want to now expand in the US as well. So this conversations that we've been having here today actually made this more clear today. Foundational literacy and numeracy is the need of the hour, and we will continue to invest in that. But we will also increase our investment in sort of real world, STEM education and experiences for children and holistic experiences for children. And we will continue to see how we can invest in that as well. A few takeaways that I have here today is that some creative ways that we can accomplish our goals. We have to work closely with the community. Investing in a child's future has to be looked at it as a shared endeavor from all of us. So recognizing that a single gift can ripple into a lifetime of opportunity for a child and for a donor as well. Right? So we'll have to create this shared space for all of us. So we are going to continue to invest our time to create that shared community. We also would love to open doors for professionals to give more of their mentorship, like I heard from the Punjab University team, that they would love to see more mentorship, and we will create programs and continue to do that. We also heard from our youth that they would love to have as mentorship as well as they evolve to become leaders of our society. So thank you, Vasudha, for creating the Youth Empowerment Committee, and we will continue to have more and more opportunities for youth and a safe space for them to grow. Also, provide opportunities for our donors to visit and see. And when you see from your eyes and experience the change that you're making, you will be more invested. So we will do that as well. I want to also share the statistics again that I brought up in the beginning. Last year in 2025-2026 school year, Vibha reached 2.5 million students. And we're serious about our work. And we want to do more. So we invite you to pay attention to our work and support us with your wisdom, treasure, and skills, because we need you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwini. On that note, I also want to thank Anne for moderating the chat throughout and engaging with the audience. So thank you, Anne. This is now 10 minutes. We will keep it for 5-10 minutes. We'll keep it for open house, that if you have any questions that needs attention and that needs discussion, and then we will do closing reflection and the thank you note, vote of thanks. So we have 5-10 minutes gap right now. If anybody wants to, and over to Swati, basically, she will ask questions or want to hear from all of you.
Thank you. And thank you, Deepal. I mean, thank you, everyone. I think this has been such a fun, engaging day. Having been with Vibha, even as a staff member, it's still just so exciting to be part of this. But one of the best things about Vibha is our curiosity. And so that's where I think that this is a great opportunity for us to learn from. We have many of our panelists who have stayed on. So if you have questions, this is the time where let's start our discussions. Even if we can't finish them in 10 minutes, this is the opportunity for us, especially as we're celebrating 35 years, for us to think about, okay, what have we done? What are we excited about? What are we curious about? And where are we going to go? So does anyone have a question for one of our panelists?
And please raise hands so it is visible easily. And I will also request if everybody can start, share their camera, share their video. Sorry, put up their video, so it will be easy for us to connect to and capture glimpses. Thank you so much.
Okay, I see a hand from Ashwini.
Oh, nice. Hi, Ashwini.
Yeah, thank you, Deepali, and thank you, Swati, Deepak, whoever has put this awesome, and everyone who has made this conference possible. It took a lot of effort, so and it shows. Thank you. I have a question for from our program managers from the India operations team, right? How did they, I just wanted to hear about their reflections from the conversations today and how we can support them better.
This question is for whom, basically?
Anyone from our India operations team, if they want to take this
I
this
just
question.
saw Sumit was here. Just turn on your camera, it will be easy for us to locate. Anybody from program team?
I know we have Samir here. Maybe he can start us off.
Yeah.
Hi, Samir.
Samir would be perfect. Yeah.
For those of you who have not been introduced, Samir is our COO in India. He works very closely with our program team. And so I think he can kick us off here.
So I think firstly, I'd like to learn from Kyle how to introduce my journey at Vibha, because it was so inspiring. And so it was to know about his motivation. But yeah, I think like Ashwini and I were having a long chat yesterday. And one of the things that we also discussed is how, the impact programs team can also be more involved when the donor initiation itself happens, right? Or even with the volunteers and the donors. I think that's we also miss greatly, right? Because everything comes to us like, okay, this needs to be done, and probably at times we don't have like the background, or what's the purpose and how we can be involved a bit more, and it becomes very transactional, right? So these experiences, these spaces would be really helpful. And I would love for some of our team members, I think Sumit is here, and maybe Jyoti is here, for them to share their experiences and maybe ask questions. So yeah.
Thank you, Samir. Yeah, I would thank you so much for inviting all of the esteemed guests and panelists today. Just hearing their perspective of how Vibha is adding value really changed the way a lot of us look at what we do, right? And that was very important. So thank you, Samir, and thank you to all the operations team in India for inviting the esteemed panelists.
I see that Jyoti just came up. Jyoti is available. So nice to see you again.
Okay. So this was the first time wherein, we got to see the US team members, the volunteers, the youngsters also. That was, I think, one of the most very interesting and touching part, and very inspiring for us, because we have seen the elder members managing the show till now. But now we have youngsters also, and knowingly, unknowingly, with intention or unintentionally, you are creating a second line of management, like youngsters, giving them sanskars and exposures, so that they are the future of Vibha. Maybe after 5 years, 10 years, they will be the people who will be coming on board and managing. And they have joined already, and you guys are grooming them. So that was one of the best part to know. And I think I saw Vijay after a long time, and it was a good initiative to see that, getting all the stakeholders from the ground and US team together, and then hearing from their own experience, from their own mouth, saying their own experiences. I think when we say it is a little different, but when you, even when they came on the camera, you see the background and other things, wherein you get a very good exposure of what kind of situation is in India, and in what kind of situation people are working. So I think it was a very good connect for both the teams, and even for me, in so many years, it was my first experience for this kind of thing. So nice, very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Thank you, Jyoti.
And really feels so good. My mom was also sitting here and watching and hearing and asking questions to me, and she is also so grateful. Now she's in the other room, but she says that, Jyoti, I just did so much of hard work to bring you guys up, because we were actually in poverty. But then I'm so happy that that you have fallen in good people. You are in with good people. So it makes a lot of meaning to her as well. So thank you, Vibha. I was in distress when Zankhana ji had picked me up for this job, and I was a very, very simple girl, not very ambitious. I just wanted to, do some good work. And I think Vibha is like those synchronic lines, which falls all across the world, and there are. It's like a source wherein all the good people are connected, and I thank God that I am part of Vibha, and with good people, with good intentions, and nobody has any hidden motives in this. And they are from they. I mean, I was explaining even when Monika came. I said, look at her background, this, that, like whatever I know. So with so much of people are on the top, but when they come on the ground, they treat us with so much of respect, and that is a culture that we also follow. Like, we also treat our partners with so much of respect. So overall, after all, I thank God that I'm with good people, and thank you, Vibha, for supporting me and changing and transforming my life also.
Thank you, Jyoti, for sharing your experience with Vibha.
If I could say something very quickly, Deepali, I think, Jyoti, it's so hard to hear you say like simple, because as somebody who's so hardworking as you are, who I've seen such incredible contributions, but I think it also goes back to what Rangesh was saying about when we help people feel, when we help children and adults feel like they matter, that makes all of the difference as well. And anyway, so sorry, Deepali, please go ahead.
No, that's okay. No, because in the interest of time and because we have people from India too, it's 11 p.m. here right now. So just keeping that in mind. So sharing a few reflection as we come close to this evening, I want to pause and reflect what we have truly witnessed today. I'm having some trouble. Sorry. It's okay. We begin with stories behind the numbers, but what emerged throughout this conference was something much deeper. The journey of children finding confidence, teacher transforming classroom, system beginning to respond, donor choosing trust over transaction, and young people stepping forward as leaders. As Mr. Atanu quoted, the highest priority of education system will be to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy in primary schools. And also this goal is achieved not by policy alone, but by teachers who turn classrooms into spaces of possibility and confidence. Providing safe space, and the chain and effort of learning begins. Effective mentoring needed for the major stakeholder who is a teacher. Language is one of the barriers that we seen when we heard from Punjab Technical Education Chairman. that language is one of the barriers too for the students, which make it difficult from them to cope up with the scientific language or English communication language. Keeping up with technical advancement in the space of educational being crucial. Digital platforms for accessing measurable outcomes among students, and how Vibha bridged the gap as shared by from the state of Nagaland, which helped to trace the individual's child progress. During donor dialogue, systemic change, strategic partnership, as Monika mentioned, Anu Dhruba said, because Anu comes from a teacher's background, so she believed that early childhood training and care is one of where her heart lies in. So all this, what connects every story we heard today, is a simple truth: meaningful change happens when people, system, and communities move in the same direction. Impact is not created in a single moment, as also mentioned by Ashwini and in earlier conversation by Vijay. It is built through years of consistent partnership, trust, and belief that every child deserves the opportunity to learn and thrive. The future of education will not be shaped by one organization, one donor, or one policy. It will be shaped by all of us choosing again and again and to stay engaged long enough for the change to become irreversible. So thank you for being part of the shared commitment. To formally close the Vibha Impact Conference 2026, it's my privilege to invite Prabir Das, our Director of Marketing, to share the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you, Vipalli. Amazing conversations. Okay, so as we come to the close of the Vibha Impact in Education Conference 2026, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone who made today's conference possible. To our speakers, teachers, government leaders, implementation partners, researchers, donors, volunteers, and every participant joining us from across geographies, thank you for sharing your experiences, insights, and unwavering commitment to improving education for millions of children. Your voices made today's conversations authentic, inspiring, and deeply meaningful. A special thanks to everyone joining us from India for staying with us late into the evening. Your commitment and participation mean a great deal to us. A conference like this is never the work of one person. It is built through collaboration, shared purpose, and the dedication of many people working together behind the scenes. My sincere appreciation goes to Dipali Bhagwate, who led the overall conference from concept to execution and helped all of us align and focus throughout the journey. Her commitment and leadership have been instrumental in today's conference making today's conference a reality. My heartfelt thanks to Deepak for leading the overall design and marketing efforts and translating the conference vision into a strong visual and communication experience. Thank you to Swati, Jasneet, and Anne for their dedicated work in outreach, speaker engagement, and participant communications. A sincere thank you to Samir and the program team for working closely with our government, representatives, knowledge partners, and for bringing together the panelists whose experiences made the Stories of Change session so rich and authentic. A special thank you to Vasudha for leading the Youth Empowerment Committee and dedicated efforts in bringing together the youth panel and ensuring that voices of young changemakers are meaningfully represented in today's conference. Thank you, Kyle and Vivid, for your energy and thoughtful dialogue, which beautifully reflected Vibha's commitment to shaping young changemakers and future leaders. My appreciation also goes to Ashwini for her guidance, encouragement, and thoughtful support throughout this journey, and to our board of directors for their continued trust, leadership, and encouragement in creating platforms like this. Finally, I would like to thank our marketing, communications, technology, operations, and volunteer teams. Your dedication behind the scenes ensured that every session, every transition, and every detail came together seamlessly. And to everyone who joined us today, thank you. Your presence reflects a shared belief that improving public education is a collective responsibility. We hope today's conversations have inspired new ideas, strengthened partnerships, and reinforced our shared commitment to ensuring that every child has access to quality education. As Vibha celebrates 35 years of impact, today's conference has reminded us that lasting change is possible when governments, educators, communities, partners, volunteers, youth leaders, and supporters come together with a common purpose. On behalf of everyone at Vibha, thank you for being a part of this journey. We look forward to continuing to learn, collaborate, and create lasting impact together. Thank you, stay safe, and have a wonderful day, or for those joining us from India, a very good night.
Thank you so much, Prabir. As we have Rajesh here, Rajesh would like to take a minute or so to reflect back on this. I know it was a thank you note, but even if you want to contribute.
Thank you, Prabir.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to attend this on a working day. Some of you in the evening, some of during the daytime. Personally, for me, Vibha was an amazing journey, which gave me an opportunity to do something that was always close to my heart. And all of us grew up in India, or almost all of us grew up in India, seeing things that we did not like and didn't know how to go about doing something. But when we came here to US, there were a few things that we did not have when we were back home. And that gave us the confidence to do something. It started off with one person, and then several people joined. We just knew what direction to go, but we didn't know all the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to do something this big. But every day more people joined, and the confidence grew. Over the time, a lot of things also changed on the ground. So the patients started paying off over the time. And today, we have a much bigger opportunity in front of us to make really meaningful impact. I wouldn't have said this even 10 years back, but today things are different. Like many of you have pointed out, like, some of you personally visit like Anu and Dhruba. You went and visited and talked to those IAS officers and government officials. They are very eager to make a difference. The only way we can make a bigger impact is by bringing a lot more people who wanted to make the difference. And that is a key to making this happen. And today we have that opportunity. Let's bring a lot more people. Gone are the days that we think that nothing will happen, nothing will change. But today we are making change as we speak. And there's an opportunity to do a lot more. Let's bring more friends, more colleagues, relatives, everyone who wanted to make a difference and probably doesn't know how to go about it. And Vibha certainly can give you an opportunity to make the difference. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of Vibha. Let's go make a much bigger impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajesh, for this impromptu reflection and making sure that we are heading towards a path that we meant to achieve something which relates to our mission and vision. So thank you for believing everybody in future where high quality public education is not a privilege, but the right for every child. Thank you for being part of this Vibha Impact in Education conference. Have a wonderful days to everybody from USA, for the rest of the people who joined from India and still connected. Good presence, good night. Stay connected with Vibha. Let us continue building change together. Thank you so much.